September is National Suicide Prevention Month. And we thought that we would try to present some strategies that focus on life-affirming strategies and skills and activities that someone who may be feeling distraught, who may be feeling a sense of despair, who may be feeling hopeless can gather from the stories of people who've either lost someone by suicide or had an attempt or an ideation. And so that's basically what we want to accomplish here. Very conversational. We want this to be so simple that a child of 10 or 12 years old can
understand it.
Information that we're giving them here. So tell me a little bit about any experience you've had either with yourself and with suicide.
Well, basically, I was suicidal from the age of 10 years old. It started out when I was molested by my father's best friend. I was getting molested for nearly a year, and my dad and my grandmother actually caught me in the bedroom. At the time, I thought, because I watched a lot of movies, I thought that, taking pills and taking alcohol, I thought that would actually, overdose or something like that. So I tried when I was 10. My dad caught me in the room, and basically I finally had the courage to tell him what was wrong. And, my dad sort of remained friends with him until today. But, it wasn't just that episode. It was like, I got raped. I got kidnapped when I was in Australia. I got abused mentally, physically, spiritually. It just felt like every time that I overcame something, that something else actually happened. And at the time that I was going through it, like, obviously the pain was so painful that I didn't want to wake up anymore, but I thank God that I found my purpose now, though. But yeah, it was an ongoing thing up until about a year ago. I would say that I actually finally became, I got saved, but it was for pretty much 27 years of my life that I had so many times that I just felt like just giving up.
During those years, was there anyone that you felt connected to close enough that you could tell them about what you're feeling? Not necessarily someone in the family, but just anyone that you felt a close relationship with that you could talk to about this?
Right. It was very hard because when I was young, I felt like my father, like, being still friends with that person, I sort of felt like it was my fault. And when they didn't do anything about it, that sort of made me scared to tell anybody else. But then obviously as things got worse and worse, and as I got as an adult, I did trust a lot of people with telling them I was suicidal. A lot of people either, turned against me. Some people used it against me. Some people laughed about it and put it all over social media and slandered me. And it was at that point that I realized that, because social media, like bullying and stuff like that, when someone's already suicidal, that can put anybody off the edge. Because I actually do know people that were suicidal and actually really did commit suicide. But that was at that moment that I realized, what, I'm going through this right now for a reason. So I can either go do it right now and go kill myself and go to hell, or I can find my purpose and realize that I'm going through this for a reason so I can go help the next person. So in saying that, it was hard to trust people. Some people get, like, how can I put it? Some people get turned off from that. They don't want to be around that. They think it's negative. Instead of actually helping the person, a lot of people were against me. But then there were a couple of people that were there for me and helped me mentally. But really, like I said, I thank God every single day because I found my purpose. And I thank God that God actually did save me. And now I've got a testimony.
And I'm glad you're bringing the concept of the creator into this, because I firmly believe that each one of us is created with a purpose.
Yes.
We may not understand that purpose because there may be people in our lives who have created situations that robbed us of our understanding or identifying of our purpose.
Right.
And so in as much as you have gone through it, do you believe that, as you mentioned, there was a purpose? Do you believe that that situation you went through made you stronger in some way?
I'm definitely a lot stronger now
In
because,
what way?
um, well, basically, when I start to feel some type of way, or if someone tries to do something to me that reminds me of anything that I've been through or whatever, like everybody goes through things on a daily basis. Like, you know, if you take away the rape, the kidnapping and the molestation and everything else I've been through, people just go through things on a daily basis. But now I wake up every single morning, and the first thing that I do is thank God every day that I'm even alive, because I'm awake right now. You know, I could have really been dead. And then, you know, I pray every time I feel some type of way. I pray to God. I go on YouTube. I try to learn and study as much as I can. I read scripts every single day. You know, I feel that if you go by the rules that's in the Bible, you're going to live that peaceful, happy, positive, loving life, because every single person that I know that believes, I'm not just talking about religions now, I'm talking about anybody that believes in a higher purpose or believes in God or whatever it may be, like it can completely change your entire life. You know, I don't allow myself to go there anymore. And then I realized, wait a minute, I know guaranteed today that I'm about to save somebody's life. Every single day I save somebody's life because of my story and because of my strength. You know, I understand that not everybody's strong, because at the time I felt extremely weak. I used to cut my arms, I would cut my legs, I would do whatever it took to, you know, I don't take drugs. So instead of taking, a lot of people go to alcohol and drugs to try to forget about the way they feel, but it's going to bring the problem still there the next day. I would cut my arms to try to get rid of that pain. And it felt like a pain relief. And then when I started studying more about this, and I was on YouTube and everything, I realized I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people in this world that have been through stuff, and there's plenty of people. So what can I do about it? You know, if I've been through it and God got me through it and I found my purpose, now I can go help the next child or the next person that's suffering this, because I know how it feels, and I'm not going to turn my back from somebody that's going through it. I'm going to help them. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that I make them feel good about it, because it all starts within, right? Like if you feel good within yourself and you believe in yourself and you have self-love, right, then you can give that to everybody else. But when you hate yourself and you're insecure and you feel like you know you can't help anybody else out. So like I said, I thank God every single day for giving me the strength to tell my story now so I can go help the next person.
How did you come to develop a relationship with God?
I found God when I was in Australia, because after I got kidnapped and everything, like I said, you know, when I go through the worst times at the time, I was kidnapped for 3 months back home in Australia. When I finally got out of the situation, the only way I really got out of that situation was from God, because I could have got killed in that situation. Anything could have happened to me.
But who told you about God? When you, someone in your family? Did you go to a church? Who planted that seed for you?
I was a Catholic when I was younger. I had my confirmation, my communion, all that type of stuff.
Okay.
I did go to a Christian church once upon a time, but I mean, it scared me, you know, because it's very spiritual and everything. But as I got older, I felt like I was able to make my own decision in what religion I wanted to be, because I studied the Catholic religion, I studied the Muslim religion, I studied a lot of religions, and it didn't really make sense to me or feel right to me. But I mean, I don't knock any other religion, because you believe in God, that's amazing. But then when I finally went to a Christian church and I went with my husband, no, actually the first time I went was by myself. That was by myself or whatever, and that was with another people in Australia. But then when I came out to the States, it wasn't until I actually went to a proper Christian church and I seen how it was, and I felt like, I was telling my husband yesterday, I felt like I was at home. I felt like it was everything in the music and how spiritual it was and the message behind everything. Every time I went to church, I got a message, something that I was going through at the time. Now, I'm not saying, because some people haven't found God yet, or some people don't really believe in that yet. You get what I'm saying? So what's going to work for me isn't always going to work for everybody else, but I believe in God's timing, you know, and I feel like...
And I agree with you, because even the concept of a creator is very difficult for some people to imagine. But that's not what's important. What's important is you were able to find a sense of purpose through your relationship with God. And there are many people out there who could use that information themselves. And so that's why I really think that's important for you to say that.
Right. And at church, I became very good friends with the pastors there, and they didn't judge me because, like, I've been in the music industry and acting in movies like since 2012, and they didn't judge me for being Hollywood or being famous or anything. But the pastor she did speak to me, the wife, and she said, Jess, that she's like, I love you more than anything. She's like, I know that you've got a bigger purpose here, and I know what you're doing for work. Because the thing was, what I was doing for my music career was going against what God is about, right? So I started saying to myself, if I really want to change my life and I want to live a godly life and I believe in God, I can't go to church every single Sunday, then go out there and do some type of music. You know what I'm saying? I've got to pick a side. I'm not going to dance with the devil because I've lived in hell for so many years. I already know what it feels like. So I had to make a huge decision recently. Do I want to continue doing my music career and go in the Nicki Minaj? I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. Everyone does what they do. Or do I want to thank God for, you know, finding my purpose and realizing, and what the pastor was saying to me, there's something way bigger out there for you. And I thought about it. I thought, I always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I love kids more than anything in the world. Kids love me. So it's like, maybe my purpose was to go out there and speak to other people and explain my story. Because sometimes
you have an opportunity, not only to study the Bible, not only to know about God, but you have an opportunity to live the life so that you don't have to tell someone, I believe in God. They can look at your life. And because you do have a platform, you really do have a responsibility.
Yes, you're right. And God, and I felt like God was giving me an opportunity and testing me out. Yeah, you can go to Hollywood direction, go get a bunch of money and do all this type of stuff. Cool. But there's no longevity in that. Then what? You know what I'm saying?
You can get even more money when you're following God's purpose.
Correct. You're going to get
even more than you would ever get going against his purpose.
Right. I believe that you're definitely going to get blessed more when you're doing it the right way.
That's
and money,
correct.
You know, I think, like I said, everyone looks at money just right now. I don't look at it just right now. I look at longevity now. I look at it. So
excellent. I am so proud of you. Thank you so much, Destiny. And I hope we'll talk again real soon, a lot more. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, what I want to add to that, anyone watching this, is we have the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. If there's anyone watching this at any time who is experiencing thoughts of harming themselves, of ending their lives, I'm asking them, please pick up the phone and call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It is a lifeline. At that number, you'll be able to speak to anyone at any time about what you're experiencing. And they will then connect you to some local services, mental health services, or other support services to help you to deal with that situation. And I will repeat what the last person we spoke to, who was a clinical psychologist, and she reminded us that suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And as long as one is alive, one has hope to make all kinds of changes. And the temporary situation will go away. At the time you're in it, it feels like it will never stop, but that's not true. It does end. And when it ends, you want to be able to go forward and do something positive for someone, Destiny, like you're doing. So I do thank you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you. God bless your heart.
Bless you too, honey.
Okay.